Storyblocks.
On Blitz, we have Coach Rock for Towns County for the Indians. Coach Roquemore, thank you so much always for letting me come up here and talk about your team a little bit.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah, definitely. And I know it's a little bit bittersweet. You got a team that's about to graduate from the program that you brought in. It's your first group that you had as sixth graders in the program starting that. So what's the emotions like seeing this group through?
I told my wife it's going to almost be like a funeral.
Yeah.
A good group, special group. Man, they've worked so hard, and they've embraced the challenges that we've had over the last 7 years, and have always done a really good job of protecting our atmosphere, protecting our culture. Our old saying, OSAT, our standard all the time. Man, those kids have done a great job buying into that, and you can see it in the way they have performed. I think we've gotten a little better each year, and a lot of that has to do with just how much work those guys have put in.
Yeah. You talked about having a great year, entering the final game with a chance to do something only one team in the history of Towns County has done, to win 7 games. And the way that y'all are doing it, arguably even better than that. So what would that mean to you, to be able to get that 7th win?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm sure after the season I'll have some time to sit down and reflect. But man, each week has been a different animal. And when you're in the grind, you know it's there because people are talking about it, and the kids are super excited. But man, it's just been one week at a time, and what we can do coming out of the previous week to maybe get a little bit better, clean some things up. But man, down the stretch, man, we've played some really good football, and we've played some really good football teams.
Yeah.
So I think I'll have a better feel or a better response, after kind of have some time to get away from it. But man, I just know each Friday, man, it's been fun.
Yeah.
And life's too short not to have fun, and our kids are playing so hard. And it's just been fun to watch, and our coaches have done an amazing job each week with the game plans. So I know that a lot of people want to give me a lot of credit, but man, I tell you, it's taken our entire staff, our entire program, and man, they deserve this.
Yeah, absolutely, they do, and you do too. I know you don't. You're quick to point out others, but you too. Starting out, and to your credit, this is something you and your staff, you came here with a vision. It wasn't that long ago you had 17 players on the roster. Now you're at 43. That is outstanding. How do you get that buy-in? How do you get the turnout? How do you get players to stick and grow that kind of program?
I think the first thing, Brian, is you got to offer them something more than just football. Mm-hmm. They've got to have something that they can plug into that that they can benefit long term. And I think that's what we try to do. I think we've been very intentional with the stuff outside the lines. Don't get me wrong, there's still, there's 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. They're going to step in stupid from time to time.
Yeah.
But just continue to push those things. I think our off-season leadership program that we put our leadership council through has only gotten better each year. And I think their influence, we have a saying here, everybody counts, everybody matters. Well, within that statement, it's not consequence or punishment, it's accountability. And I think, the more accountability you have in your life, the better chance you have to be the best version of yourself. And so from that aspect, we really have, especially our older group, they really have matured. And, and that's been really, fun to see as a coach is to go along that journey and kind of see where they were to kind of where we are, But I think we're very seasoned. And again, it gets back to our seniors and kind of the foundation that they've laid.
Yeah. Perhaps, arguably the best skill group you've had as well in your time here. You got Dustin Barrett. You got Alex doing what he's doing in the backfield, already over 1,000 yards. You got Tucker. You got Sam. How fun has this offense been for you to coach?
It is, man. I'll be honest with you. There's a couple times I've gotten home on Friday and it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't wait to turn the tape on. I think, going in, we knew we were going to, be okay skill-wise. We felt pretty comfortable about it as long as you could stay healthy, of course. But I've just been really excited how we've been playing up front, and we play a lot of sophomores up front, and those guys have really come on. I think, knock on wood, but especially offensive line play. I think we're ahead of schedule. I think Coach Woodard has done a great job of simplifying things, and it's allowed us to play fast. And when you're doing that, and then you combine it with the talent that we have of those guys you mentioned, and those guys are special players. And, we've done a good job of piecing it together. But I think that would be the biggest thing, man. Football, it's the whole 7-on-7s and all that stuff that you do, the whole basketball in cleats. That stuff's really good over the summer. But man, come August, you got to start striking folks. And man, I tell you, we've been very physical, this year, and it showed.
Defensively too, it's not just the offense getting it done. They've almost given you a heart attack, I think, a couple games. You had a 4th down stop, goal line stands, those type of things. Man, that's stressful, but they buckled down. They secured probably at least 3 of your wins this year have really been because of the defense, I would say. Talk about that side of the ball and how impressive they've been.
Well, again, I think it starts up front. You look at Nicholson and Hensel and Wheels and Noah and those guys that have contributed up there. They kind of set the pace of play in the trenches. And then, at linebacker with Mo and Holly and Sosby and AB, I think collectively as a group, it's probably the best group that we've had. So our box has been pretty good. And then in the back half, I think Sam, man, his football IQ has went through the roof. This summer he went from not knowing who the number 2 receiver is to now, he's checking us in and out of coverages, almost an extension of me, on the field. So, but collectively, again, I think it gets back to playing hard. I think with just the maturity of this bunch, we've been able to make some really good adjustments. Last week's a perfect example. We're 21, all at the half. And having a hard time getting stops, and then we make a couple adjustments. We go out and execute, and we score 33 unanswered and shut them out. So, but again, it gets back to that's what teams do. Good teams do, and it's what good coaches do. So I couldn't be more proud of all of our kids and our coaches, for the success that we've had, this year.
And again, some of that goes back on you. Winningest coach now in Towns County, and that says a lot over the many years of this program. And it's a hard community to have a football team, even field a team, And you've brought the excitement back. You've reinvigorated this program, took it to new heights. What does this community and school mean to you and your family?
Me and my wife absolutely love this place. I tell my superintendent weekly, man, hey, I love my job. I love my job. And he always tells me, well, I'm glad you love your job. But I think it's just, when the opportunity presented itself to come here, we knew it was going to take some time, and that you got to have patience. And the ball's not always going to move, as fast as you want it to. But I think the biggest thing is we've been consistent with our purpose. We've always put kids first. And relationships first, and those are the things. That's where it's going to start. We've now have got a flag program and a tackle program going in with our rec department. Our middle school is getting better each year. Numbers have been really good there, and we're finally. I know it's taken 7 years, but we're finally starting to see some of those benefits. And I know. There's going to be some years we won't run real fast or jump real high, but I've coached a lot of kids. But man, I'm telling you, coming, out of year 25, I don't know if there's a better place in the state to coach. And I say that with no disrespect to anywhere else, but man, I tell you, it has made me better. It has challenged me to step outside of my box. And, you know, the coaches are creatures of habit, you know. But for me, each year to find ways to continue to strengthen our strengths while looking at our weaknesses, man, has been really, really good. You know, and we're making progress. And some of that progress is creating change. But man, I tell you, there's not a group of kids that work their tails off harder than our kids.
Yep. Can't be outworked. What's been the message? You kind of said some of this. I already know some of the parts of this, but what's been the message all season to this team and this group of guys?
I think, you know, we challenged them early in the summer, you know, just to be the best version of themselves. That's in the weight room, that's at practice, that's in the classroom, that's at home, that's in the community, and what that looks like and what that takes, because it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me. You know, but I think they've done a great job of embracing that. And then when you combine that with our OSAT, our standard all the time, those things mesh really well. And you know, again, I think as our kids have gotten older, they've done a better job of understanding, hey, I know adversity's coming. I got to find a way to dance in the rain. Yep. And we've kind of had that mindset. You know, it's very rarely do I come to team stretch at the beginning of practice and those guys ain't already started team stretch. Yeah. I mean, it's that type of group. And the accountability that they have among each other that I kind of touched on has made them so fun to coach. And you know, it's kind of bittersweet. You know, tonight marks an end of an era. But these kids have left a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, I told a buddy of mine, you know, our kids that are underclassmen will talk about these kids and how they went about their business for years to come. Yeah. And we'll reap the benefits of that. So, but again, man, couldn't be more blessed and you know, again, just thankful for the calling that God's placed on my life and allows me to do what I get to do.
Yep. Well, Coach, I'm a big fan of what you're doing here, man. Can't wait to see what y'all do in this final game. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.